ball knocked loose. White dive on it.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor. They try to
Save with Horford. Unbelievable.
Boston first to the floor. So good.
Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, laying. Got it. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
Wayne Spooney here, First to the Floor podcast. I'm here with Jake Eisenberg to talk about our 9-8 Boston Celtics. Ooh. Jake, how's it going?
Good. Back above 500. Feels, I don't know what it feels like, honestly. Last night we had the 1 versus 2 seed battle in Rec League, and we lost by like 15, which was tough. But we operate like the Australian rules football finals. So like the top 2 seeds play each other, and then the loser gets another chance. So we lost, and then we get to play the winner of the 3-4 game. And then if we win, then we play the top seed again. So
good luck.
Had 18 points last night. Not enough though. Brick 2 free throws. That's all I can remember really.
I know it is all like a blur whenever I play, and like I'll remember a couple plays, but other than that, it's like I played that whole game and I can remember absolutely nothing from it. Well, that's too bad. Good luck in the next game. It sounds like you need to have like 25, Jake. So come on, man.
Yeah, step it up. Come on, gotta get my Anthony Simons shooting bag. Together.
All right, so. This pod, what we're going to open up with is some of the bad news, or I guess lack of news, which makes me quite worried because I'm an anxious boy, is that Neemias Queta is injured. So we're going to open up, maybe talk a little bit about his replacement, what that will look like. There's a spicy trade idea. We may talk about that on the Patreon or not. I don't know. We'll see how long we go. And then we just have a few other things to hit as well. But I just want to say the spicy trade idea is from Nathan Marzion. So it's good stuff. Yeah.
I got a DM being like, I know this trade would never happen, but hear me out. And then I was like, oh, this is exciting. So we'll probably hit that on the Patreon later. But yeah, we'll hit some Queta injury stuff up the top here, which, Spoody, who would have thought that Queta injury stuff would be this significant? Because if he's out for an extended period of time, we're in trouble here.
Yeah. Just kind of to set the table here, when Neemias Queta is on the court, we have a plus 13 net rating, which is like best in the league. When he is off the court, we are minus 8.6. So that's good for a plus 22 net rating differential for Neemias Queta. We have sucked ass when he is not on the court this year. And, a significant portion of that is who had been replacing him up until now. And look, Luka Garza, I'm sure he's a very nice guy. We've been getting killed in his minutes, basically in every game, bar like maybe 2. And I know at least one game where he had a nice plus minus and played well was in garbage time. So, 1 or 2 games he's looked good, but otherwise Garza, it's just a layup line when he's out there. And it's just not tenable defensively with Luka Garza, but he is out of the rotation seemingly. So like, we don't know how long Queta is going to be out. Let's assume it's like 2 weeks. I think that's kind of a fair assessment.
I have no idea. Like, this is what's hard right now. All we know is that he's just straight up out on the injury report for tomorrow. And of course, Joe Mazzulla said, basically, I've never met Neemias Queta, and I don't know who you're talking about when asking him about the injury, which is annoying for us just to try and talk about it. There was a video of Queta kind of walking around to practice very gingerly, but we have no experience with how Queta deals with injuries, because like the actual rolled ankle, he was kind of running. He didn't it wasn't like the land, like the ones when you land after jumping are like typically the worst, but some guys can just turn their ankle. Obviously, he is a giant person, and so Like, if the force of him going, he does kind of move crazy, like his limbs and just moving that type of body around can, like, I
It's
can
like an
understand.
octopus.
Yeah, octopus, wacky inflatable, dude. So I can
Yeah.
understand why, like, going really hard one way with that amount of weight could be significant. I don't know. Tatum would bounce back in like 2 days from ankle sprains that would take me out for the rest of my life. So it's hard to know what to expect here, but the fact that he's just straight out, not doubtful, not questionable, makes me think that maybe you're right about it being a couple of weeks. And if that's the case, yeah, like the Gaza stuff. What's really bad with the Gaza stuff is that the 3-point shooting of opposing offenses when Gaza's on the court is basically flat. Like when Gaza's on the court, teams are shooting 36.3 from three against us. When Gaza's off the court, teams are shooting 35.7% from three. So like less than a percentage gap there. It's the rim protection. There is none. It's completely non-existent. So Joe didn't go to him at all last game. And the Celtics still gave up 128 to a Magic team that was missing half of their roster. A lot of that was kind of garbage time, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I do like watching the team more when he just goes small, which statistically, I know you pulled some stuff on Twitter. Looks like probably their best bet.
Okay. I agree that like the Minot at the 5 is probably tenable, and I think that's like a decent solution. They tried Walshy at the 5. I think a lot of the Magic really got going when it was Walshy at the 5. He's just not big enough.
Well, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he can't play center. Like, even against this like tiny, like someone named Jamal Cain is at center for Orlando. He's just too small to be the nominal 5. Minot, I tweeted it out. We're essentially even in like the 50 or 60 minutes. Minot has been the center this year, which is totally fine. Head above water, floating around. That's okay. But hear me out. When Chris Boucher plays with Queta, -10 net rating. When he plays without Queta, 51 minutes, +13.3. So I think, to me, Minot for sure, maybe for like 10, 12 minutes. I think we need to see more Boucher. Like, he hasn't impressed me. He hasn't looked good necessarily, but just the fact that he can shoot, the fact that he can put it on the floor a little bit, and the fact that he offers like weak side rim protection. He's not like a Queta style, like I'm, shepherding everything that's at the rim, but he can block shots. To me, it's like, I think I go with Boucher.
Yeah, Steve in the chat, Boucher was garbage the other night. The
know.
Boucher stuff's been bad. Like I agree, but at the same time, it's been very limited minutes wise so far for him, and he has been pretty good as an NBA player throughout his career. So there is a sample of him actually being. But he's typically, an advanced stat darling, just like Luka Garza, except Boucher's done it in real minutes as opposed to Garza. I'm with you. With Boucher, you can do some more switching as well. You don't like when Garza's out there, you have to play drop. But then maybe you should just try switching with Garza because obviously you're not going to do that because it's a disaster either way. But so I would like to see Boucher get another try. The Tillman stuff's been rough. Yeah, man. I don't. Maybe you go back to Tillman defensively, and then you try and switch more, and he helps you a little bit with rebounding, kind of. But at least with Boucher, in theory, you get the offensive boost. Whereas like you've covered Tillman being a non-factor on that end right now. So in theory, Boucher can shoot. He hasn't been able to shoot it so far this year, but has the sample size of being able to shoot it and try some closeouts. I agree. They're going to have to try that. We might get to the Pistons preview, but bad matchup coming up to not have Queta because they are big and physical. And having Boucher or Minot / Walsh at the 5 is going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's for sure. And like Jalen Duren, who I always was like kind of a fan of. I did not see this coming, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like Bam. He
Yeah.
looks like a more athletic Bam offensively, and like much better defensively than he has been in the past. So, yeah, dude, like Boucher, the rebounding really worries me because he's not a good defensive rebounder. But then you can kind of pair him with Walsh and Minot, and those guys will go crazy on the boards. But then it's like, look, Walsh and Minot have been killing teams when they're on the court together. It's only 24 minutes, but they're plus 64 net rating with those two on the court. But like that's tiny sample size, and I think the lack of shooting probably is not tenable offensively if it's those guys. I mean, Boucher does give you a little bit, but I don't think it's enough to really make up for, those guys. They'll take threes and they'll make some threes, but nobody guards them. I guess I think to me, it's got to be Boucher with a little bit of Minot at the 5, but that brings us to the ultimate question, Jake. He's coming up, or I should say he's coming down from Portland. He's taking that boat, whatever they call it, like the Hound, or I can't remember what it's called. Amari Williams. Our guy, Nick NBA, he has been on the Amari Williams bandwagon. Would you give Amari some minutes?
Yes.
All right.
This is the time. Like we've seen it we just ran through the options. There essentially are not options. It's brutal. And it's an incredibly difficult challenge to ask Amari Williams to handle in his first real NBA game. But hey, man, maybe that's what he needs. This could be his moment. Like he has the size, has the athleticism to kind of hang. But man, pick and roll with Cade and Duren as your first real NBA experience, trying to handle the boards with Asad Thompson flying over the top and stuff like that. Beef stew, elbowing you in the ribs. For a guy that I've been like, I'm not sure I want to use the word soft, but it's not like he's the most ferocious player when he's out there. Yeah, well, maybe this is the matchup he needs. He needs a little beef stew getting up into his grill to bring out the dog of Amari Williams. But why not? Why not? Because, like Tillman, Boucher, Gaza. Hey, how much worse can it be, dude? Like when Gaza is on the court, as we've covered, they're negative 11.3. So get him out. Get him out of there.
Yeah, and I think, look, defensively, especially against Cade, like Cade is just such a tactician offensively. He just picks defenses apart. And like if you can't switch, you basically like need to trap him. And like he'll eat you alive because he's huge, so he can throw it over the top. The same way Tatum kills traps too. Like it's such a cheat code to have like a 6'7" plus like high level ball handler, because like you can kind of trap the little guys and at least make them have to like pass it backwards or sideways. It's no fair when they could just dump it over the top to the dude in the short roll, and then your entire defense is compromised. And that's what will happen if we're trapping Cade. But the flip side on Amari is that I do think he gives you an entirely different dimension offensively. Like I'm not as high on the passing as other people, not because I think he's a bad passer. I just like the way the Celtics ask their bigs to pass is really like downhill, catching in the short roll, take a dribble, make the right read. And I've not really I watched a ton of his college tape. He did not do that at Kentucky. It was all stand still, like Sengun, Domantas Sabonis style. Like I've got it in the post, the action's happening around me, and I just read it. So I don't think we're gonna change how we play offense for Amari Williams. So like, how does he fit offensively? But it does give you a dimension that none of our other bigs have.
Yeah, but did you see the highlight of his in and out dribble and then alley in Maine? So it at worst it's like fun for us to see what happens with throwing him out there. But I feel like he could do it. Like how, like if you hit him on the short roll, like how do we know he can't do it until he gets a chance to do it? Let's see it, man. What do we do? Like what are we doing this season if not for trying stuff like this? When Katie goes down, we have the answer. when it comes to the other guys on the team already. And maybe Boucher is the one guy that we're not fully 100% sure of what we're getting, but let's let the big fella cook. Amari, this is your time. UK Jokic.
Are we gonna get to the end of this season and say like, thank God we played that much Chris Boucher minutes? You know what I mean? Like that is never gonna be uttered by us. We're never gonna be like, I'm glad Chris Boucher played 1,800 minutes this year, right? At least with Amari, if you play him and if he fails, then you know that he may not be the answer going forward. But if he plays okay, then it's like, okay, let's keep seeing. Let's see what we've got here. Maybe he's part of the future and he's on a two-way and we can keep him on a two-way for another year or two. So there's truly no downside to playing him at this point. And like, yeah, I definitely want to see it. I definitely am extraordinarily skeptical of him playing well. But again, he's the 46th pick. Like, there just are not good 46 picks. There's like somebody in the Discord, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was, posted. It might have been our guy Tice, posted the last 10 46 picks. And it was like D'Anthony Melton, and that's it.
King.
You know, it's just, yeah, right. Who's the man and pretty good. And it'd be great if he was that level of a center. But the bar is just very low.
Yeah, but what about? But Brad Stevens is touched by God. So you know, if he can do it with Neemias Queta, maybe he can do it with Amari Williams. But you know, there was a reason I was a non-believer in Queta when he was here 2 years ago, and look at him now. Only one way to get Amari Williams to progress and develop is to give him a chance. I can't take the G League stuff seriously. I can understand that there's stuff happening in the G League that you can see as translatable, but I just can't do it anymore. And I've seen JD Davison actually having some moments for the Rockets. Moments might even be strong, but he's playing for the Rockets, and I've seen Rockets Twitter kind of about him. But yeah, like JD Davidson's the G League MVP. I can't. Baylor Scheinman, elite in the G League. I know it's good to just like generally help them get better and practice and develop, but I just can't take what I've seen in the G League and say, okay, this guy can do it in the NBA. So only one way to find out. Let's see the big dog.
Yeah. Throw him against the Wolves. And by that, I mean the Pistons, not the Timberwolves. Throw him in, see what happens. He will probably get cooked. I'm done watching Garza, man. Like, can I just say from day one, I was like, I'm not going to pretend this guy's good. And I'm going to be super annoyed because a lot of people are going to latch onto him. And I love our media. We have great media. We have great beat reporters covering the Celtics. Their love of Garza is driving me insane. So I'm frankly like, hopefully the experiment is over. He seems like a great guy. He's made millions of dollars to play basketball, and he's got guaranteed year next year. So he's doing just fine. But yeah, let's experiment. Let's see Amari. Let's see Minot. And like, it's worked. Like just being like, let's play the young guys and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's worked with Minot. It's worked with Walsh. So why not make it a third? Let's go. Let's do it.
The secret is just getting on that TD Garden parquet.
Mm-hmm.
Magic
Exactly.
just happens. All right, let's hit prize picks, and
Yep.
then we'll talk a little bit about Simons and how maybe he isn't the worst player we've ever seen.
I can hit it for you.
You got it. All right, prize
Yeah.
picks time, baby. It was an up and down game for the New England Patriots. The NBA's back. The Pistons, you want to grab some rebounding stuff on prize picks, maybe go more on Jalen Duren, maybe go more on Asad Thompson rebounds as well. That could be a good idea. As soon as we find out who is starting for the Celtics, maybe go less on rebounds for the starting five, especially if it's Josh Minot or Chris Boucher. But going into this next game, I'm a little bit worried about the Patriots with their whole left offensive part of their offensive line being in shambles. But just throw the ball, Josh McDaniels. Stop trying to establish the run. Stop trying to make it happen. Let Drake cook. We're going more. Drake May, yards, completions, touchdowns against this Giants team. neutralize the pass rush, quick game, get it going. Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. It's good to be right.
Prize Picks. It's fun, adds a little extra juice. I think you got to go Maury Williams, more assists as well. Definitely lock that
Block,
one in
assists,
too. Yeah.
Points.
All right. Okay, we're gonna talk a little Anthony Simons because, like, I think we it's fair to say we've been pretty harsh on Simons, Jake.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So one of the guys that I play basketball with is a Celtics fan and reads Celtics blog. And before the game, when we're shooting around, he's like, "I read your hit piece on Anthony Simons today." Yeah, and there was the counterfactual that also dropped on Celtics blog, and Anthony Simons immediately had, I feel like, two of his best games after
Good
writing
work,
that.
Jake. We
So
appreciate
you're
it.
welcome,
Yeah.
everybody. The big thing I think that we've been critical of, Spoonie, is the offense has been pretty much non-existent outside of the catch and shoot stuff, specifically the playmaking. And going back and watching, I watched all of the assists on the team in the last two games with Simons on the court, and some of the plays are just like simple. Feels like he's just looking to throw guys into space, but there's been a few plays, just simple pocket passes, or like Queta comes, sets the screen. Simons like fades, had a really nice left-handed pass into Queta into the short roll, and Queta's been able to find guys. And that's what this offense has been so desperately missing. As you said it before about the short ball handlers versus taller ball handlers, Pritchard, I love him, and the assist to turnover stuff has been great. But part of it is because he has to turn down, or at least he does turn down, a lot of those mini windows on the short roll that are there from what we can see on the broadcast. It's like there's guys open, but there's just arms and limbs in the way for Pritchard. / he's a little bit risk averse, which is fine. But Simons is bigger, and this is where you miss Tatum. Going back to what you're saying about Cade, it's like having a dude that's 6'9" and can just throw over the top to Queta and Luke Cornett is just so valuable because it's not fancy, but just getting guys into that spot gets the offense moving. It's not for just pure pick and roll dunks, lobs. So Queta's gotten good enough where he can make those passes out the short roll, whether it's to a shooter in the corner or to a cutter or for his own dunk. But those little plays have been awesome. And it's only 2 games. It's against a Magic team depleted and against the Nets that are terrible. But if he can make those plays and get the offense moving consistently in that way, that will change his impact as a player.
Yeah, and it's usually a pretty easy read for the most part. I just like at times, I think he was, uncomfortable in the offense, and he's definitely getting more comfortable. Steven in the Discord shared his last X games chart from Databaller. First 9 games, he was on ball 24% of the time. Now he's at 28 in the last 8 games. So he's on ball a little bit more. His assists have jumped big time. Frankly, that's just because we're kind of shooting a little hot off of his passes, because his potential assists they're up 0.5. Right. So they essentially haven't changed at all. And he's just making a ton of shots right now, which is great. And we know Simons could do that, but you're right. Like, he just needs to continue to make the correct, simple read. And sometimes the read is simple, but the pass is not. And like, to your point, like, Pritchard knows that guy's open. He knows the short roll's open. He just can't get the ball. And it's like an average passer doesn't make bad passes, right? A good passer hits the open man, and a great passer hits the guy he wants to pass it to, regardless of if he's open or not. And like, Simons is sometimes terrible, sometimes average, and like sometimes good. He's not going to pass guys open, but he does get enough defensive attention that he can make those like pretty simple reads. Like, when the help comes from the weak side, he can kick it to the corner, and that just keeps the offensive machine churning. He's shooting the absolute shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
I will say that. And it's like, it's always going to look pretty good when you're shooting the ever loving shit out of the ball. He's at 46% from 3 in his last 8 games.
Yeah.
He's an elite 3-point shooter, though. Like, he's going to have these runs where he just doesn't miss, and that's part of his value. So they're getting him more on ball. I think that's overall like a positive thing for what we need if he's going to come off the bench, because there's just nobody else coming off the bench who can handle the ball. Like Walsh might not, like none of those guys, none of the bigs can really do any of that type of stuff. So we really, really need him to at least do something as a playmaker, as a creator. And like, we know he can create his own shot, and he's actually pretty good at those little running floaters off the wrong leg. I'm just afraid, like, he's super hot from 2 as well over these last like couple games. Like, once that goes down, like, okay, it's nice that you're making the right read a little bit more often, but like, if you're not finishing and shooting threes at an elite level, it's still kind of like, what are you doing for me?
It's fair. That being said, the shooting might not come down that much. Like, his career 42-ish% on catch and shoot stuff. The pull-ups are career 34 range, 35 range, which is good. But yeah, I think he's at 47, 48 on catch and shoots for the whole season, which is bananas, at least the last time I checked. So yeah, that's a possibility, but it could be offset if he's able to make some of these plays. And maybe, I've been open to the idea that it's a comfortability thing. Like, we've been like, where are all these highlights of him like splitting pick and rolls and like finishing kind of with either hand through traffic? Maybe as he starts to get a little bit more confidence, that comes around. I guess my thing was that I was mostly pushing back on is that he hasn't been given a chance to grow into this potential version of himself, and that they should change the way that they're playing in order to maximize him specifically. It's like he was playing 24 minutes a night, which is 4th on the team before these 2 previous games. So it's not like it's a minutes problem. And then the overall metrics, I think, are skewed a little bit or a lot bit by the fact that he's playing with Luka, or has been playing with Luka Garza a lot. Like, I had a look at this from Data Baller, which I've pulled up here. So like, the big takeaway, when Garza and Simons are off the court in almost 300 minutes, the Celtics are plus 16.2. But when Simons is on and Garza is off, they're only a negative 1.2. And so maybe it's just a Garza problem, because when Garza's on and Simons is off, they're a negative 19. And when they're both on, they're a negative 8, which is like the consistent theme is whenever Garza's involved here, shit gets really, really bad.
Yeah.
And so it may have been exacerbating, or definitely exacerbating, the problems, right? So it's like Pritchard's advanced numbers are probably going to look worse with Garza if he was coming off the bench and he's part of that bench unit with Garza, as opposed to getting to share the court more with Neemias Queta. Because Queta, the numbers are looking awesome, partly because he's been great, but because the drop-off is also just so steep for him, as opposed to like the wings or from Pritchard to Simons. So that's a big part of it. So I'm opening my mind a little bit to Simons not being as bad as he has been. I don't think that we were imagining how bad he has been at times, whether it's guarding on point of attack. It's like the rebounding frustrates me. He just is awful at rebounding. He grabbed 1 defensive rebound the other day. I'm like, whoa, got in there.
Go,
Well done.
buddy. Yeah. So I think Ant is overall a negative defender. And
Yeah,
I just did a breakdown for the Patreon on the Celtics defense, where I just looked at like 10 or 15 random defensive plays and talked through them. There is a defensive play where Garza and Simons are both on the weak side, and they have each other's guys, and Garza's like switch, and he goes to switch, and Simons doesn't do it. And so as that's happening, the dude drives, gets to the paint, and kicks it to the guy Garza was on because Garza's nowhere near him because he's like, come on, let's switch. So it's a wide open three. It looks like Garza's fault, but when you watch it back, it's entirely on Anthony Simons. So I'm going to try and start watching him a little more closely because I suspect that is not an isolated event with Anthony Simons. But the big thing is, it's not that big of a deal to have one shitty guard defender. It is defense destroying to have a bad center defensively. There's just completely different levels of this. Like, they are probably equally bad defenders, but it's so much easier to work around a bad defensive guard than it is a bad defensive big man. And like, Simons is just magnitudes better offensively than Garza. So I think to your point, like, probably a lot of guys on offs with Garza would look like that because he's, we're not really getting killed except in his minutes. And I don't think that's all his fault, but a lot of it kind of is.
Well, yeah,
So, there's definitely something to that.
And it reminds me of the Cat thing, right? And the Knicks series not withstanding, but most of the Knicks defense was then propelled by Mitch Robinson having like the best 6-week stretch of his life. And now this season, the Knicks have the 17th ranked defense. And a lot of that is because it's been Cat and Mitch Robinson's missed a bunch of time. And the same, he's a better defensive player than Garza, which is not saying a lot. But yeah, it's a much more difficult thing to work around. And Garza does not have the offensive chops, obviously, to make up for the gap in the same way that Cat does. So, yeah. Glad he's got a second year in his contract, though. So that's good.
He's we can toss him into a trade for a little bit of salary matching there. Real quick, Pritchard is now shooting 43% from three in his last 8 games. So I just feel like we need to just like say like he's back, he's fine.
He's super back. And Hauser as well the last couple games.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Pritchard, Hauser, Derek, and Simons can kind of just shoot within their ranges as opposed to all of them have had horrific shooting slumps except for Simons so far. So Derek feels like the last one here where he hasn't been hot. But yeah, Pritchard is got to be getting close to 60% true shooting for the season now.
His relative true shooting, so how much different his true shooting is from league average is only minus 1.2% right now, and it was like close to 10. Derek's is still 10.
Yeah.
So he's got to be like 48% true shooting, 47% true shooting, which is just god awful. It's wild. Like Data Baller gives you these like charts that give you a bunch of advanced stats and like has little bars for what the percentiles is. And Derek's is all green, all like 70 to 90 percentile, except for any of the shooting efficiency stuff. So it's just frustrating that he cannot shoot the ball right now. And, part of it is the fact that like he's in a role that he's not, quite capable of, but it's going to come back up. He's not going to shoot 30% from three all season. Yeah.
It's the catch and shoot stuff that's weird or just slumping.
Yeah.
It's like once that returns to normal level, he'll be fine. But yeah, Pritchard, man, 17, 4, and 5 on 57% true shooting. I bet you he gets that up to 60% by the end of the season. And he's going to be close to, that's 17, 4, and 5 with only 1.4 turnovers. It's fucking
good.
It's a good player, man. It's a good player. So I had to like double take this as well. The Celtics, according to Cleaning the Glass, are up to 6th on offense. Which that's high, man. We're still early in the season where like the Magic game bumped us up multiple points. But that's I still not really computing in my brain because a lot of the times the offense just feels so difficult. But I think a lot of it's being driven by opponent 3-point shooting. Like, what did the Magic shoot the other day? They were 42%. It must have all been late in the game because I remember watching that game. Yeah, they were 20s. They were 5 for 18. The Magic were in the first half, and I'm like, these guys are just throwing up bricks on bricks on bricks. So. Yeah, I don't know, but the Celtics just do have devil magic when it comes to opponent 3-point shooting and have for for so long now. But yeah, I'm continued to be flabbergasted by the Celtics statistically on offense, like
Yeah,
overall.
I do think we came into this year being like, I think the offense will be top 10 and the defense will be bottom 10. I mean, I feel like we did a pod and that was kind of our takeaway. And the defense is trending that way.
Yeah.
They were like 11th last week and now they're at 15th per cleaning the glass. Yeah, like I don't think this is the top 6 offense
Yes. I-
based on talent, but I think you got to give credit to Joe Mazzulla for
Yeah.
not trying to turn Jaylen Brown into Jason Tatum and letting him be Jaylen Brown. And it turns out like shooting a lot of threes and empowering your guys to go out there and do stuff is really conducive to having them all play well and make them feel confident and have a really good offense. So we're running a bunch of different stuff. We're running a bunch of different stuff with guys and like the added, I feel like we haven't been offensive rebounding quite as much as we have had early, but also I think more shots are going in. So that's part of it. There's definitely going to be a regression in the mid-range jumpers. Like the mid-range jumpers aren't just aren't going to go in at this rate, but I don't know. What would you have us pegged after we've seen, just about 20 games ish? Where do you think we finish offensively?
I don't know. Like my pure eye test makes me think that we're closer to middle of the NBA, and the defense is actually the thing. Assuming Kate is healthy, is the thing that I watch. Where I'm like, man, these guys just play so hard, and that's the side of the ball that makes me think that they can go closer into the top 10. But I'm clearly wrong. That's like at least 15 games in, or 17 games in. So I don't know, 10 in or 11 in offense and like 14th defensively, which makes me think that they're just going to be better than I thought. But then we've been so healthy. Like this Cater injury, like you watch the rest of these NBA games, and I'm like, I don't fucking know who anyone is. In
Look
half
at the
these games.
Magic, who we just
Yeah.
played, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Like the Thunder have had nobody, but I think part of that is resting guys. Like the Nuggets, Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown now out for a ton of time. Like so many teams have been missing so many guys, and the Celtics just haven't. And a lot of teams, you're like, okay, yeah, of course. Look, LeBron's 41. Of course, he missed a ton of time. Of course, Mr. Robinson is missing time, and OG Anunoby's injured. He's always injured, and like
Kawhi
the
just
Clippers.
came back.
I was
but
just
yeah,
gonna say,
yeah.
like the Clippers and Golden State have guys missing, obviously, because they're old. So Drew Holiday's injured now, by the way. Like Porzingis has been missing a ton of time. So I don't know, like the other Celtics built out of guys that are pretty durable, like Derek, Pritchard, Jaylen. I know misses like average of 15 games, but he's still that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we don't really know what Cater's durability is like. But then otherwise, it's just built out of a bunch of young athletic guys. So maybe they're just, I don't know. The pace, I've seen that thrown around as a reason why we haven't gotten injured, like us playing really slow. But it's probably just purely just luck, and that's all it is.
Yeah, I think for now it's probably just luck. Yeah, it really boils down to I think we'll be fine if anybody gets injured other than Queta and Jaylen, and like we're gonna learn a lot about this team with Neemias Queta out, and like it could just be very bad. Like I can't believe I'm saying this about Queta. Like it still feels unbelievable, but this has a chance to look really, really ugly. You just cannot win with bad center play. It's like impossible.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
On that, do you want to guess what the line is for the Celtics Pistons game tomorrow?
I saw it's 3.5, right?
Yeah, what is going on with that? How is that not way bigger?
I know we're a public team and the Pistons are not, so I think like extra money comes in on the Celtics, which can screw up the line. So I wonder if that's part of it. But yeah, like only getting 3.5 points against this Pistons team that is like the best team in the East and like the second or third best team in the NBA so far this season.
That's what's confusing me. I'm trying to find the injury report. Like I know for yesterday's game, the Pistons are playing the Pacers. And was that yesterday? I think that was yesterday. And the only guys that are on the injury report are Ivy, Bobby Clintman, Eric Weiss's boy, Levert and Marcus Sasser. Like some, guys that even Levert and Ivy were probable. So they've got all their main guys, and we don't have, and Queta's out. I feel like I'm missing something, which makes me feel like I'm going to be surprised tomorrow because Vegas always knows.
They do. I'm avoiding it. I don't know what to think of this Celtics team. And like I said, we said it last pod, it's going to be game 55. We're going to be like, what the hell is this team? So I don't know. That's where I'm at. Like, what do you want to do a quick preview of the Pistons pod? And then maybe we can tease the trade idea and then we'll jump over to Patreon and talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've kind of been doing it, I think, throughout the episode, but how are we going to rebound when Neemias Queta is not there and we're going small? The rebounding has been better as of late.
Sure.
We are now 26th on the season in defensive rebounding percentage, which is obviously an improvement. And over the last 10 games, we have us at 18th. So that's like a huge improvement from like worse in the NBA. It could just be matchup related though. And I know the last time it got really, really bad was against this specific Pistons team. And the analysis is probably that simple. If they're able to do that again, you're going to lose, especially because they've really rounded into form on both ends. They have Asar Thompson as well. Like Jaylen's been doing so much heavy lifting for us offensively. And I feel like they've got the bodies to throw at him, especially when it comes to Asar, like the types of guys that can really give him trouble.
Ron Holland, man.
Yeah. And like long, athletic guys that can switch. It's just, and good rim protection. I don't see it. I really don't see it. But 3.5 point line, I'm missing something.
Yeah, man, the Pistons are 5th in offensive rebounding percentage too. So like it is a clear strength of that. Clear strength of theirs and a clear weakness of the Celtics. Yeah. And like it also like Cade puts you in such a tough spot to defensive rebound, right? Because they're gonna run the Duran Cade pick and roll. We'll probably try and pre-switch it, but Duran has been destroying switches, right? So if we pre-switch it, we'll say with like Walsh, right? So they're going to bring up Chris Boucher to set the screen. Walsh will probably be on Cade. We'll pre-switch it. We'll try and get Jaylen on Duran, right? Something like that. So we can just switch it. So if Walshy is on Duran, he can kill Jordan Walsh. He is way too big and way too strong. And then if we trap it and it's dumped off to Duran, and he kicks it to the corner, then he's just got a free lane to the rim to rebound. And you got to put a body on him, and your center is going to be trapping Cade up around half court. So he can't do it. So it's going to be like, hey, Derek, box out this monster. Like, Pritchard, you got to box this guy out. So, like, part of it is, like, personnel, but also guys like Cade just put you in tough positions and make you defend differently than you have to against like the Orlando Magic or something. And that can have trickle down effects to offensive rebounding. And I suspect it will. And they're going to corner crash and they play super hard. They play like we do, right? We play super hard this season. The Pistons play like that. They just have like a lot of guys. Like they're all supercharged versions. Like Holland's like a better version of Jordan Walsh. Asar's like a better version of Josh Minot. And like, this is a really tough matchup, and I would not be shocked if we get blown out.
They are also second in forcing opponent turnovers, which goes back to what I was saying about Jaylen. And yeah, I just talked about how the offense is 6th, and maybe it's just the Celtics can continue to stay hot and shoot well, but the matchup just feels off to me. Between the rebounding, the ability to guard positionally with Jaylen and Pritchard and Simons, like big, strong guys that can keep offensive players in front of them. It's good. I'm excited for it because the Celtics play hard enough where they can be in these games, and they're really well coached. They have enough talent, and it's cool to. It's weird. This is like a complete flip of previous years where like the Pistons would probably be like the frisky 9-8
Yeah.
team and the Celtics are 13-2. And it's like, we want to keep this streak going. You're going to have to come to play. If you take your eye off the ball, the Celtics will beat you. Like the Pistons have given it to the Celtics over the past several seasons, like randomly. Like, remember when the Pistons were in the midst of that historic losing streak and they were up 20
we went
at
to
half.
OT, right?
Yeah. They were up 20 and Celtics Twitter, us included, melting down about how this team is not serious. And then it goes to overtime and the Celtics pull it out to extend the Pistons losing streak. Like, yeah, it's how the turns table. It's not as much fun when the rabbit has the gun. I'll say that.
No, this is this season has taken some adjustment. Yeah, Pistons second best defense in the NBA per cleaning glass, eighth best offense, good for fifth highest net rating overall, and I believe the second highest in the East behind Toronto, who is fake news.
It's all weird stuff. Yeah, like Toronto being. I haven't caught much of Toronto. That's why I'm just hesitant to go overboard with all of the early season sample stuff. The NBA is always tricky like that, but I guess it's like 3 or 4 NFL games so far, like relatively. So, but 17 games is so many games. But I guess they just play so many goddamn games. That like 17 games is like a month of basketball. Where like, yeah. I don't know.
It's the NFL season, yeah.
It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, keep an eye out for Dennis Jenkins too. Like,
yeah,
so
dude,
they just found this guy and he's awesome. I've watched like a decent amount of the Pistons. They're just a really fun team to watch. The offense isn't nearly as clunky as it used to be. Duncan Robinson's fitting in really nice too, man. Yeah. Like, I thought they were gonna really miss Beasley, but the little like extra off the dribble stuff Robinson gives you, I think, has really added a dimension to their offense they didn't have with Bees. They're just awesome. And Duren is like becoming one of my favorite players to watch. Like he's just fun and athletic, and like the handle is crazy now all of the sudden. So hopefully this is a very, very good and fun game. I'm just quite concerned it's going to be a tough one, but you're right. Yeah. The switch has been flipped. We are now the Pistons, at least for this season, but luckily we have an all NBA top 5 guy coming back. And that's something they could not say previously.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, Cade, he probably is top 5 in MVP right now. But yeah,
sure.
maybe it's just the Ugo and Jordan Walsh. They're going to put those boys on Cade, and we're going to win the game just because Walsh is going to have him in hell. All right, we're going to jump over to the Patreon. And if you haven't joined the Patreon, we have close to 100 members now. And if you, depending on which tier you're in, but the main tier where you get the bonus podcast, because there's a question from Matthew Souza in the chat about how much it costs. So it's $6.90 a month to get the bonus podcasts and some of the other stuff that we chuck in there. So we're going to hop in there in a second. So Nathan Marzion sent me a trade, and I'm to pull it up on my phone because Twitter now does this thing where it's asked for a code to get into my DMs.
I remember it if you want me to just rip it.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. It's the Celtics get Giannis. The Bucks get Tatum and 2 first-round picks. But the catch is that the teams trade the players back after the season. So obviously this would never happen, but it's a fun thought exercise and good content. So we're gonna jump into that in the Patreon, which I'll put the link here now.
Yeah, so join us over at the Patreon. I think it's an interesting sort of value discussion in a lot of ways as well. So there's the Patreon link in the chat. Jake and I are going to jump over there like immediately. So we will see some of you there. We are out. Peace.